Starting off strong, we have Adam Levine, who allegedly cheated on his pregnant wife of 8 years, Bahati Prinsloo, with Instagram model Summer Stroh. Summer claimed in a since-deleted TikTok that she had a quote affair with Adam, who currently shares 2 kids with Bahati. That lasted about 1 year. She said in the September video, "At the time, I was young, I was naive, and I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now, so I was definitely very easily manipulated." And Summer went on to share a series of screenshots that seemingly showed Adam making some quite bizarre remarks about her body. In one of the images, the Maroon 5 frontman appeared to ask if he could use the model's name for his new baby with Bahati. Some of the texts Adam sent his secret lover include, "Holy effing F, that body of yours is absurd. How are you such an hourglass?" Needless to say, the entire ordeal took the internet by storm, with Adam's alleged texts in particular becoming something of a meme, and more women wound up making similar allegations about the singer's infidelity. And while Adam later denied cheating on Bahati in a statement addressing the scandal, he did admit that he'd quote crossed the line. Next up, we have the YouTuber scandal that's shocked the world. Ned Fulmer from popular YouTube channel The Try Guys. Ned, who got married to Ariel Fulmer in 2012, admitted to engaging in consensual workplace relationships after photos on Reddit appeared to show him kissing a colleague, Alex Herring, in a bar. Ned shares 2 children with Ariel and famously built his whole brand around his love and devotion to his family, becoming one of the internet's most prominent good guys. "Family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship," Ned said in a written statement. "I'm sorry for any pain that my actions have caused to the guys and to the fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and my children, and that's where I'm going to focus my attention." The rest of the Try Guys, Keith, Zach, and Eugene, confirmed that Ned was no longer working with them as a result of the scandal. "We do not see a path forward together," they shared. "We thank you for your support as we navigate this change." Next up, we have Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian. Tristan Thompson made headlines twice for cheating on Khloe Kardashian, whom he began dating in 2016 over the course of their relationship. The Cleveland Cavaliers player was spotted cozying up to 2 women in April 2018 while Kardashian was pregnant with their daughter True. Later that month, Us Weekly confirmed that Thompson had been unfaithful to the reality star since November 2017 with at least 5 different women. However, Thompson was present for their daughter's birth, which was documented on season 15 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Us Weekly broke the news in May 2018 that the duo were quote fully back together despite Thompson's infidelity. The Revenge Body host defended her decision to reunite with the NBA star in November 2018. "His mistake was obviously humiliating and heartbreaking, but I do believe I am strong enough to endure anything," she tweeted at the time. "I choose to find a life lesson in every situation, even the nasty ones. Tristan has grown from this, but most importantly, he's a beautiful father to our sweet baby True." The athlete and Kardashian split for a second time when he was seen kissing Kylie Jenner's then best friend Jordan Woods at a party in 2019. Next up, we have Kristen Stewart, who cheated on Robert Pattinson with one of her directors, Rupert Sanders. "I'm deeply sorry for the hurt and embarrassment I've caused to those close to me and everybody this has affected," she said at the time. This momentary indiscretion has jeopardized the most important thing in my life, the person I love and respect the most, Rob. I love him, I'm so sorry." Sanders, for his part, publicly apologized to his then wife, Liberty Ross, and their 2 children, Skyla and Tennyson. "I am utterly distraught about the pain I have caused my family," the English director said in a statement. "My beautiful wife and heavenly children are all I have in this world. I love them with all my heart. I'm praying that we can get through this together." Both couples called it quits after the news broke. Next up, we have Shakira and Gerard Piqué. Piqué was having an affair with a 22-year-old girl while in a relationship with Shakira. Shakira and Piqué, a professional soccer player, were together from 2011 to 2022 and have 2 kids, though they never officially married. In her first interview about the breakup in September, Shakira told Elle, "Sometimes I just feel like this is all a bad dream and that I'm gonna wake up at some point. But no, it's real. She continued, and what's also real is the disappointment to see something as sacred and as special as I thought was the relationship I had with my kid's father, and see that turned into something vulgarized and cheapened by the media. But by January 2023, the gloves were off. Shakira broke records when she dropped Music Session 53, which is apparently about PK. His new 23-year-old girlfriend, and how Shakira is worth, quote, 2 22-year-olds. Insider's Alan Dawson previously reported. Our next cheating couple is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. While the world is currently wrapped up in Bennifer, the other one with Jennifer Lopez, lest we forget that Ben Affleck was once in a soap operatic turn of events caught cheating on Jennifer Garner, the mother of his children and wife of 10 years. He cheated on Jennifer Garner with, guess this, the nanny. The couple divorced in 2018, and after marrying him last year, Jennifer Lopez went on saying that, honestly, I would simply walk out if she discovered he'd been unfaithful instead of, quote, flying into a rage. Next up, we have Jude Law and Sienna Miller. The pair were a picture-perfect Hollywood couple. The couple had been engaged for 8 months when Jude Law's kid's nanny, Daisy Wright, claimed that the two had been involved in an affair while he was filming a movie in New Orleans. Law then published an apology to Miller in the British Press Association, saying, "There is no defense for my actions, which I sincerely regret, and I ask that you respect our privacy at this very difficult time." Miller and Law were on and off for the next few years, breaking up for good in 2011. That was one of the most challenging moments I hope I'll never have to experience again, she told the Daily Beast in 2022. The next celeb may come as a bit of a shock. We have David Letterman. David Letterman had only been married to his wife for 6 months, although they had been together for over 20 years, when he admitted to having multiple affairs with women who worked for him on air, including his longtime assistant Stephanie Burkett. The affair came to light when Stephanie's boyfriend Robert Halderman, a producer at CBS, allegedly tried to extort Letterman for $2 million in exchange for his silence. But David did not take up the offer and instead said this on live television. "This morning I did something I've never done in my life. I had to go downtown and testify before a grand jury." Letterman revealed to the studio audience that he received a package 3 weeks ago containing a threat to reveal those indiscretions. If Letterman did not pay the individual a large sum of money, specified as $2 million, he said that the package contained a letter that said, "I know that you do some terrible, terrible things, and I can prove that you do those terrible things." And sure enough, what was contained in the package was proof that I do terrible, terrible things, he said. Our next celeb couple is Kevin Hart and Eniko Parrish. Kevin Hart's infidelity story is honestly a little similar to Letterman's, as he was also being extorted. After denying any wrongdoing, he took to Instagram in 2017 to apologize to his wife Eniko Parrish and his kids. It was then later revealed that somebody was in possession of an explicit video of Hart and was attempting to receive money from him. Hart and Parrish stayed together, and he spoke about it on a podcast in 2020. Our final celebrity couple involves Arnold Schwarzenegger. When Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver announced their separation in 2011 after 25 years of marriage, it was a shock to everybody. The bigger shock, however, came later when the world found out that Schwarzenegger was the father of a son born in 1997, mothered by the couple's housekeeper at the time. It's always the housekeeper. "Remember, it's not like we had a feud," he explained to People magazine in an interview. "We didn't have a fight." He added, "It's just my F-up. My chapter with Maria will continue on forever," he told People. "Even though it's a different relationship and we are now separated, there's no reason for me to feel anything other than love for Maria."
The Try Guys YouTube series began with BuzzFeed, and it starred Ned Fulmer alongside Keith Habertsberger, Eugene Lee Yang, and Zach Cornfield. but it grew an audience of millions on the publication's platform before the guys realized, hey, why aren't we making a dime for our boss's dollar? And they went independent with Try Guys, as they rightfully should. Together, creating entertaining content for their masses, each Try Guy kinda had their own shtick. And Ned's was that he branded himself as the ultimate family man. His wife Ariel Fulmer was his entire personality, and he was supposed to be the wholesome one. But then came September of 2022, a little over 10 years after the couple, who shared 2 children, tied the knot. The persona Ned built came tumbling down. News broke via a Reddit chain that showed pictures of Ned cheating on his wife Ariel with Alexandria Herring, a producer at their company. The news and aftermath were an absolute whirlwind, and it resulted in Ned being kicked to the curb post a thorough internal review the same day the news broke. According to a video released by the 3 remaining members of the Try Guys the following month, a unanimous decision had been made to oust Ned, who wouldn't make any appearances on any more pre-recorded material going forward, but Ariel would. The story of a hidden love child forces one man to step down. Next up is Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, around May of 2011, there were rumors beginning to arise that Arnold had an affair with his longtime housekeeper, Mildred Patricia Baena, who's even fathered an illegitimate child with her, named Joseph, who bears a striking resemblance to the action star. These rumors ended up becoming so intense, Arnold is forced to step away from Governor of California role lest he face angry voters. But naturally, he and his wife Maria Shriver denied everything like crazy at first, until his wife took a step back to reevaluate the situation. The fact he'd suddenly upped how much they paid the housekeeper, the accused love child really did look like him, the fact that Mildred would have conceived at the time Maria Shriver was away working, and so Maria Shriver separated and filed for divorce from Arnold. This spawned a new wave of rumors, which finally confirmed by Arnold himself in May of 2011. He finally states that Maria left him because he'd come clean about the love child in a therapy session, whose creation he described as one of his biggest mistakes in life. His unexpected admission to the newspaper include another not so insignificant detail, that he only acknowledged the existence of the child whom he supported financially from a distance to his wife Maria shortly after stepping down from office. So, a classic for Twilight fans out there was Kristen Stewart's affair. When British director Rupert Sanders was chosen to helm Universal Pictures' fairy tale live-action Snow White and the Huntsman for his feature film debut, it seemed like the start of a promising career. But just a few weeks after the 2012 film's lackluster debut, he and the Huntsman star, Kristen Stewart, really top off the movie's bad press when they're captured by paparazzi making out. So, Stewart had cheated on her Twilight co-star, Robert Pattinson, and Sanders was unfaithful to his wife of 10 years, Liberty Ross, with whom he had 2 kids. Both released public apologies. Kristen's is particularly desperate and brutal, and it doesn't help either of them. Ross and Sanders ended up divorcing, can you pause it there? And nothing substantial transpired between Stewart and her boss, who were both then dropped from the film's sequel casting. Her career takes a massive hit, and she loses several other roles and endorsements, and faces harsh criticism from the press and the public. Kristen also had to deal with the fallout of her relationship with Pattinson, who she described as her first love, which ended shortly after the affairs exposed. While Stewart's career has started to bounce back following the scandal, it took Sanders even longer to secure a second feature directorial gig with 2017's Ghost in the Shell, which was then crushed by critics. When your producer cheats, you divorce and fire him. Next up is Robert Mutt Lange. It's a saga worthy of a country song. Shania Twain and her ex-husband slash producer, Robert John Mutt Lange, were one of the music industry's biggest power couples. Their split later became one of its biggest scandals. So Shania Twain's 14-year marriage to the music producer Robert Mutt Lange came crumbling down when she found out her best friend, Marie Anne Thibault, and Lange had been having an affair since 2008. News she couldn't accept at first when Marie Anne's husband, Frederick Thibault, told her. But by 2010, Shania is divorcing her husband and firing him as her producer. It was like I was kicked off my own bus while it was moving full speed, the Grammy winner told Red Book magazine in April 2011. But there's a very strange, happy ending here. Shania may have lost a best friend and a husband, but she gained a new love in her ex-best friend's now ex-husband. To quote her, "We slowly became very, very good friends," Twain told Ellen in 2011. "We had many months of just trying to make sense of everything, holding each other up. It was a very difficult time emotionally for both of us. I would say he was probably stronger than I was. He was a tremendous support. We were a support to each other and really found something beautiful in the end and unexpected." The couple then married in January of 2011. Ime Udoka was suspended from the Boston Celtics after allegedly cheating on his partner of 13 years, Nia Long, with a member of staff. News broke in September 2023 that he had been temporarily axed from the team following reports that he had violated their code of conduct by engaging in improper, intimate, and consensual relations with a colleague. And this public announcement is how Nia Long found out. Can you imagine finding out from your husband's workplace that he cheated on you when they put him on public blast? That's traumatizing, especially considering the couple, who first met back in 2010, can you pause it there, share a 13-year-old son named Kez, who also found out what dad did the same way. A few months after the news of Ime's alleged affair surfaced, a representative for Nia claimed to the clamoring for quotes press that the longtime couple were no longer together, but were remaining fully committed to co-parenting their son. Soon enough, the actor wound up discussing the devastating ordeal for herself in a candid chat with Hollywood Reporter, stating that, "I think the most heartbreaking thing of all of this was seeing my son's face when the Boston Celtics organization decided to make a very private situation public," she said. "It was devastating, and it still is. He still has moments where it's not easy for him," she went on. "If you're in the business of protecting women, I'm sorry. No one from the Celtics organization is even called to see if I'm okay, to see if my children are okay," she added. "It's very disappointing." Next up is a reality show nightmare with a snappy nickname, Scandalous. Does someone quitting a show over a scandal count? I'm going to count it for this list. If you weren't a Vanderpump Rules fan, to fill you in, the controversy was over Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix, the two longtime stars of the Bravo reality show. The two had been dating for 9 years when, without warning in March, it's revealed they'd broken up. Yeah, it turns out Sandoval had been cheating on his girl of 9 years with her best friend and co-star Raquel Leviss. And not only was the affair confirmed, but much of the aftermath played out in public on Vanderpump Rules reunion special. Madix now says she has no interaction with Sandoval or Leviss. Meanwhile, Leviss had a complete breakdown over the consequences of her own actions and quit the show before checking herself into a mental health facility. All the while, the man in the middle, Sandoval, is still holding on and making statements about how he fought so hard for Leviss and was fully in love with her, but she shooed him away when the scandal broke. Should have shoot his ass off a cliff. A famous cheater to get the can was Scott Disick. Kourtney Kardashian's on again, off again relationship with Scott is a thing of pop culture legend at this point. They finally called it quits for what seems likely to be forever in 2015, but not before rumors of Scott cheating on multiple occasions surfaced as being the reason why. Scott and Kourtney were only on and off because the man could literally just not keep it in his pants. He was a brutal serial cheater. Kim and Khloe Kardashian once found texts to another woman on his phone, and after that, pictures of him partying on a boat with his ex hit the internet, prompting their last breakup. It's famously known in Keeping Up with Kardashian fanbase that Scott really didn't realize what he had in Kourtney until it was too late, and now he spends his time moaning and groaning over what he could have had with the mother of his children. Ultimately, in 2017, it leads to Scott being given the can by Kris Jenner from Keeping Up with the Kardashians for his unchanged way and exhausted role in the household. And while it never got him fired, Hugh Grant's affair demolished his career for several years, and it's so iconic I decided to slip it into this list. So, the British actor, who had just achieved playing the lead role in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, was meant to be in Hollywood to promote his latest film, 9 months, when he decided, as a local paper said, to take a walk on the wild side. He cruises down LA's notorious Sunset Strip at night. It's here he meets Divine Brown, real name Estella Marie Thompson, a local working girl who he paid $60 to give her some bruised knees. Catch my drift. Grant and Divine are caught and arrested, not for the adulterous act, but for the fact the adulterous act was happening outside in a public space. Grant, the long-term partner of actress Liz Hurley, was quick to release a statement of regret to the press, but it was Divine Brown who the press really wanted. News of the World gets the scoop from her, paying her $100,000 for her story, which was a blow-by-blow account and a now famous sentence Grant told her: "I always wanted to sleep sleep with a black woman? That's my fantasy. The tabloids went crazy with it. The revelations came days before Grant faced sentencing and became a media circus. The actor, who did not attend the court, was ordered to pay a fine of $1,000. Having violated a custodial sentence, Grant's career rehabilitation began with an interview on NBC's Primetime Tonight Show with host Jay Leno to apologize to the world. But the damage was done. The bust occurred 2 weeks before the release of 9 Months with Julianne Moore. Rotten Tomatoes gave it the approval rating of 23%. He co-starred then with girlfriend Elizabeth Hurley in Extreme Measures, and it flops. Mickey Blue Eyes flops as well. So it kicks off a 3-year-long hiatus, ending his relationship with Hurley as well. It wouldn't be until 1999 the hit Notting Hill gives Grant a comeback. Divine Brown, by the way, pleaded no contest to engaging in lewd conduct in a public place at her hearing, and having violated her probation for previous working girl charges, was given an 180-day prison sentence. As Brown did not have to serve her sentence for 4 months, she had time to travel to the UK to promote Fantasy Channel, an adult station launched on satellite the same year, and even do some modeling. Speaking to The Guardian at the time, Brown said she hoped to run into Hugh Grant while she was in the UK. Kevin Hunter was fired and divorced. 2 birds, 1 stone for Wendy Williams, who had her estranged husband employed on her show as a producer. The Wendy Williams show host claimed for the first time in her 2001 memoir, Wendy's Got the Heat, that her husband had cheated on her, prompting her to hire a private investigator to trail him. 16 years later, Hunter was accused of cheating on Williams again after being spotted out and about in New Jersey with massage therapist Sharina Hudson. Reports then surfaced that the TV producer and Hudson had been romantically involved for more than a decade, which he and Williams then deny. But then in March 2019, Hudson gives birth to a baby amidst widespread speculation that Hunter's the father. A month later, the TV personality is filing for divorce from Hunter after more than 21 years of marriage. And then another week later, Hunter's fired from his job on her daytime talk show. To quote, Kevin Hunter is no longer an executive producer on Wendy Williams' show. Debmar Mercury wishes him well in his future endeavors. And to end things off, it's the beloved on-air affair. I've never seen an affair be so well loved, but it wasn't a so good an American morning when the Daily Mail splattered 64 images of Good Morning America co-hosts Amy Robach and TJ Holmes feeling each other up in November of 2022. Given that both parties, were publicly known to be married at the time, the Amy Robach and TJ Holmes scandal began at the end of 2022, but as announced recently by the pair on their Amy and TJ podcast, they were ready to go public with their romance and respective in-process divorces at the time of those photos being taken, which they both insist was in motion before being caught. On December 5th, 2022, the duo were temporarily removed, can you pause it there, from the daytime television program as gossip about them reached a fever pitch. And even though Robach 50 and Holmes 46 had drafted respective statements to explain their sides of the story, they refrained from sharing them in order to not exasperate the issue. Maybe it would have been better if we'd released the statements, admitted Robach, but we were just trying to keep our jobs. This was 2 consenting adults who were each separated, a source close to them claimed. They were both broken up with their spouses in August within weeks of each other. But it didn't matter if they had broken up or not, because in early 2023, ABC President Kim Goodwin announced that the pair was leaving GMA. Not so amicably. They got the can.
Number 10, Scott Disick. A cheating scandal involving keeping up with the Kardashians? Whoa, how unheard of. Scott has had his claws dug into the Kardashian family for over a decade, despite his constant bad decision-making and partying lifestyle. He appeared as Kourtney's boyfriend on the series premiere of the family reality series and has been a chaotic bad in their lives ever since. In season 2, Kourtney confronts Scott for the first time following the revelation of a series of texts on his old cell phone to someone whose contact was listed as my wife. This led to their first breakup and was the first instance of a public cheating being outed. Now, that wasn't the last one though. The couple would get back together and split over and over, and they even had 3 kids in the process. But Scott has a problem and he can't seem to keep his hands to himself. Literally months after the birth of his 3rd child, he was caught cheating on Kourtney with an ex in Costa Rica. Scott is still involved in the family unit to this day despite his serial cheating, but his presence on the show brings with it just a cloud of cringe. Number 9, Will Smith. Will Smith is a husband, father, and a professional smackmaster. In season 3, episode 12 of the reality TV show Red Table Talk, Jada Pinkett Smith invited her husband Will onto the show. During the interview, the topic of infidelity was brought up, and Will confronted Jada about an alleged relationship between herself and a singer named August Alsina during a brief separation between himself and Jada in 2015. Jada was taken back at first, but then went on to break down what really happened on her end. Following this episode, August went online and claimed that he had to have Will's blessing to begin the relationship, despite the pair technically being separated at that time. Now, Will never mentioned this, and Jada just denies that Will ever gave August permission. But when referring to the situation as an entanglement, Will kinda snapped and he made her correct herself to say the word relationship instead. Her show was eventually cancelled along with the rest of the Smith family. Yeah, you guys should have just kept your drama to yourselves. Number 8. Tristan Thompson. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson were happily together for quite some time until news of Tristan being seen kissing another woman was revealed on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It turns out that Tristan had been seen kissing a woman named Jordan Woods, who at the time was Kylie Jenner's best friend. Khloe's reaction to the event is intense. In clips from the episode, she is seen and heard yelling on a phone and claiming that the scandal had torn her family apart. Okay. Not long after that revelation, Khloe seemed to forgive Tristan, but not Jordan. But they both were equally to blame, so like why be nice to Tristan? They got back together only for him to cheat on her again 2 years later, and this time the evidence was clear because the woman that he had an affair with birthed his child. Kinda hard to forgive something like that for obvious reasons. They are no longer together, and they're probably better for it. Number 7. Stephen Bear. Celebrity Big Brother is a spin-off of the regular Big Brother reality show in which celebrities are forced to live in a massive air hangar full of furniture from the brick. They compete in various competitions and slowly vote each other out. It's literally a popularity contest. In one season, a celebrity named Stephen Bear, who has basically just been on reality shows, began a steamy fling with his fellow housemate Chloe Khan, who is a model. They were together on the show for 3 weeks until one night a little twist came through the door. A twist by the name of Lily Lexi Gregg, Bear's longtime girlfriend and famous fashion designer. She confronted him the moment she stepped into the house. She said she needed to look him in the eyes when she told him what he did to her. Bear looks stunned when she comes in, and it probably doesn't help that he has like a small stack of donuts on his head when she does. It's kind of funny. Lily and Bear were together for several months before he entered the Big Brother house, with Lily claiming that she literally walked him to the front door and had to go home to his family. After learning of the romance sparking in the house, she reached out to producers and she got herself a spot in the hangar. Following the confrontation, Bear dumped Lexi in front of the entire house and the entire world, claiming that the experience made him realize that he wanted to be single and explore possible relationships. Okay man, oldest excuse in the book, bud. Number 6. Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is a former NBA pro and he was married to Khloe Kardashian in 2009. And it seems Khloe just can't catch a break. In a sneak peek of his new documentary presented by TMZ, Lamar shared the fact that there is still plenty the public doesn't know about his serial cheating during his relationship to Khloe. While married to Khloe, Odom would have a slew of random women come through the house, sometimes multiple people at once. He also admits to having full-blown relationships while he was traveling with the NBA. Khloe discovered that Lamar was trying to cover his tracks by using her assistant's phone to message women behind her back. This caused her to go full-blown detective mode. Herself and momager Kris Jenner decided to take matters into their own hands and followed Odom to a hotel where he was caught cheating for the first time. They caught him surrounded by several women while under the influence of heavy substances, and despite this, the relationship continued until 2013 when Khloe finally had enough and called it quits. Lamar has recently come forward calling his actions embarrassing and hopes to reconnect with Khloe in the near future, but he's also claimed to have been with over 2,000 women, so I don't know, maybe she should just steer clear of that one. Number 5. Ronnie Ortiz. Ronnie is one of the spray tan minions on the hit reality series The Jersey Shore. The series follows Snooki and her housemates in Jersey Shore. There's like not much to unpack there. Recently, a revival of the series premiered, now being called Jersey Shore Family Vacation. During one episode of the show, Ronnie was seen cuddling and kissing a lady in a hot tub. Oh, what's wrong with this? Well, his pregnant wife was nowhere to be found. Ronnie admitted in a talking head that it was hard having kids on the way and being with someone that you're not sure you should be with. According to him, women were coming up to him constantly, and he was sick of denying them the goods. He akined it to being in one of those money machines, and it's on, but you just keep your hands in your pocket when it starts. Several cast members confronted Ronnie on his behavior, and the footage was shared with his wife Jen. Following this, Ronnie went on air and professed his love for a former girlfriend, not even the girl he was with, from 10 years ago. Snooki even spoke up and told him to move on. Like, that's crazy. As of now, Jen and Ronnie are still together. Here's hoping Jen doesn't want another kid though. Who knows what he'll do now? Number 4, Jax Taylor. In season 1 of the show Vanderpump Rules, Jax Taylor and Stacey Schroeder had a rocky relationship, and the whole thing was documented for us all to enjoy. The allegations of him having an affair with fellow castmate Kristen Doubt, the suspicions grew following Kristen's casual acceptance of Jax's history of cheating. She was Stacey's best friend and confronted the pair on several occasions. Both denied the hookup ever taking place until Stacey was finally able to get Jax to confess live on air. The confrontation created one of the most iconic moments in the Vanderpump Rules history. While Kristen kept denying the entanglement, Jax owned up to his actions and provided details for Stacey and a man named Tom Sandoval who was also dating Kristen at the time. That's right, 2 cheaters for the price of 1. After Stacey was pushed to the brink, she began a physical altercation with Kristen, and when things eventually simmered, Kristen finally admitted the truth and apologized for her mistake. The friendship with Stacey was damaged, but she was thankful to finally know the truth. She no cray cray. Number 3, Kelsey Grammer. You may recognize Kelsey Grammer as Frasier from the hit sitcom of the same name, but to fans of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, he's the one who cheated on Camille. Real Housewife Camille Grammer accused her husband of cheating with Kate Walsh, who's now his wife. The accusation came on season 1 of the show, and it chronicled their quickly declining love life. Kelsey recalls an instance when he had just recovered from a heart attack and suddenly his mother died. Instead of consoling her husband, Camille yelled at him on the day of her funeral and told him that she wanted a divorce, a conversation they had apparently had several times. The truth was Kelsey did cheat on his wife, as only 2 months following his official divorce from Camille, he married Kate Walsh, and they're still together to this day. In this case, it sounds like cheating got Kelsey out of a rough relationship. Number 2, Dean McDermott. Tori Spelling made a name for herself in the acting world when she portrayed Donna Martin on the show 90210. She met Dean McDermott on the set of Lifetime's Mind Over Murder in 2005, a year after she had married her first husband, Charlie Sheeneen. Dean was also married when they met and had been for about 10 years. He recounts falling hard for Spelling when they met. Then he noticed her wedding ring. Both parties had been unhappy in their marriages, and while their flirting at first had no intention behind it, they eventually woke up together in a room at the Cartier Palace and had no regrets. Well, maybe not yet. In 2013, after welcoming their second son into the world, Us Weekly announced that McDermott had been unfaithful to Tori during her pregnancy. The couple aired out their grievances on Tori's reality show True Tori. However, the scandal only brought them closer together. They began doing couples counseling and have learned to communicate more openly. As of 2023, they seem to be going on strong with 0 incidents of infidelity taking place since. Number 1, Hugh Grant. Hugh got caught cheating in the most public way possible. In 1995, he was arrested after he was caught getting down with a lady of the night in public. Not only is that rough, but he was dating actress and model Elizabeth Hurley at the time. At first, Elizabeth kept quiet and refused to comment until 2 months following his arrest. She went on record saying that she felt like she had gotten shot when she heard what he had done. The night lady, Divine Brown, was hounded by the press over and over for her side of the story, with one outlet even paying her $100,000 for her side. Brown was eventually sentenced for 180 days in jail due to a violation of her probation, while Grant was made to pay a $1,000 fine and attend an education program for medical stuff. During an interview with Jay Leno, Grant went on record claiming that he did abominable things and Liz was amazing about it. Despite what many news outlets were reporting, Elizabeth was very supportive of Grant and the couple tried to work things out. But unfortunately, they officially called it quits in 2000 and now Hugh Grant is a villain for some reason. He's a bad guy in every movie now.
Starting us off at number 10 is Marilyn Monroe and John F. Kennedy. There has always been a lot of speculation around this affair ever since rumors started circulating that the president had an affair with Marilyn while he was married to Jackie Kennedy. These rumors heightened after her iconic, sultry performance of Happy Birthday to the President. I don't think we can ever forget that one. For many years, it was all rumors and no confirmation, but in 2013, a biography came out and confirmed these claims to be true. In the biography titled "In These Few Previous Days, the Final Year of Jack and Jackie," it claimed that Marilyn once called Jackie to tell her that John had promised to marry her. The biography also claimed that he was having an affair with multiple women, but Jackie was most concerned about the one with Marilyn because she knew it would cause a huge and very heavily documented scandal. Now, of course, Whether the biography is even true, we will never know. So, I guess we take this one with a grain of salt. Moving on to number 9 is Ashton Kutcher and Sarah Leal. Ashton was married to Demi Moore for 6 years at the time that the scandal had unfolded in front of the entire world. His administrative assistant, Sarah Leal, had come forward and alleged that she had intimate relations with him during an interview with US Weekly. Demi spoke about the affair in her 2019 memoir called Inside Out, where she said she found out about the cheating scandal through a Google alert. When she confronted Ashton about it, she said that he admitted to it right away. The heavily documented scandal was the catalyst for the breakdown of their marriage, with the two of them finalizing their divorce in 2013. Ashton never personally addressed the scandal, except for in 2017 when he admitted that his name was splashed around every gossip magazine for being an adulterer. Swiping our number 8 spot is Hugh Grant and Elizabeth Hurley. It is one thing to get caught in a cheating scandal in Hollywood, and it's another thing when it includes someone getting arrested. In 1995, the actor was arrested in Los Angeles for misdemeanor lewd conduct in a public place with a Hollywood sex worker. He was caught having this affair after he paid her to perform acts on him. We'll leave it at that. The actor ended up pleading no contest and paid a fine. But what made matters worse is that he was married to Elizabeth Hurley at the time, so the whole scandal was flooding the media, including his mugshot. But despite the fact that he cheated, she stayed with him for 5 years in hopes to fix their marriage. However, it didn't work out and they split later down the road for good. And spot number 7, we have Tiger Woods and multiple women. Honestly, there's no nicer way of saying it, and the whole scandal included more than 10 different women. It all started in 2009 when the National Enquirer reported that Woods cheated on his wife with a nightclub owner named Rachel Uchitel. I think that's right. Media outlets reported not long after that his wife had attacked him with a golf club after finding out the news and finding proof in his phone while he was sleeping. After it was made public, more than 12 women came forward and claimed they had relationships and flings with him, sharing text messages and voicemails as proof. He ended up admitting to his infidelity and issued a public apology. Because of the scandal, he actually lost several endorsements and had to take a break from tournaments. He and his wife got divorced in 2010. Cruising into spot number 6 is Jude Law and Daisy Wright. This affair was one of the biggest ones in Hollywood history. 1, because it was so documented, and 2, because it involved someone close to their family. I am talking about the actor and his fiancée at the time, Sienna Miller. Back in 2004, they were engaged and seemed to be a match made in heaven. But it wasn't long before the scandal surfaced in 2006 and revealed that Jude had been cheating on her with their nanny, Daisy. She was actually the one who came forward with the affair and gave out details of their entanglement, which apparently had gone on for some time. Jude did not bother denying it. He ended up coming clean to the affair and released a public apology to Sienna, saying that he deeply regrets it and that he is ashamed of his actions. Sienna broke off the relationship right away, but then they got back together and tried to rekindle things. It actually wasn't until 2011 that they officially called it quits. Halfway through our list, number 5 is Alex Rodriguez and Madonna. Alex was with his ex-wife Cynthia Scurtis at the time that this scandal blew up in his face. There were multiple rumors going around at the time of infidelity on his end, and one of them was allegedly with Madonna. Why this affair was so shocking was because Madonna was also married at the time and she was denying the claims. It was actually Alex's former trainer at the time, Dodd Romero, who talked about the affair. He claimed that Alex got pulled in by the dark side of Madonna's religion at the time and was totally brainwashed. A friend of Cynthia's also spoke out and said that she told her she found a letter from Alex to Madonna, and in it he told her that she was his true soulmate. In interviews though, Alex always said that he and Madonna were just friends, and that is what they have always claimed, so we really don't know. I don't buy it. Moving into spot number 4 is Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe. Meg was in the prime of her career at the time, being the leading lady of romantic comedies, all while being married to Dennis Quaid. They got married in 1991, but then in 2000, she was exposed for having an affair with her co-star at the time, Russell. They were filming Proof of Life together at the time, and they were spending a lot of time together, which apparently led to this affair. She immediately took the heat for the affair, and everyone was heavily criticizing her to a point where it started to affect her career and roles that she was no longer getting. She tried speaking up about it and said that Dennis had actually cheated on her in their relationship in the past, but that it just was not made public. But people didn't care. She was still the only one to get bad press for it. Her and Dennis finalized their divorce not long later in 2001. Russell Crowe didn't get any freaking heat, eh? Cool, sure. Rolling into spot number 3 is Kristen Stewart and Rupert Sanders. This is by far one of the worst scandals to ever get caught on camera. I remember the pictures being everywhere at the time. It was back in 2011 when Kristen was dating her Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson, and everyone thought they were going to be together forever. Or at least we hoped. I hoped. But then out of nowhere, pictures of her making out with another man were all over the internet and the cover of magazines. The man was Rupert Sanders, who was the director of her movie Snow White and the Huntsman, which is where the two of them met. Rupert was also married at the time to the mother of his children, Liberty Ross, so things were very messy. People were also shocked because he was 41 at the time and Kristen was only 22, so the age gap just surprised a lot of people. Robert and Kristen split immediately, but Rupert and his wife continued to try and work it out. Taking over number 2 is Jesse James and multiple women. Once again, the scandal just involved more than one person, so I can't really pick just one. He got married to Sandra Bullock in 2005, but they went their separate ways just 5 years later in 2010, after he was exposed for cheating. Articles called him a serial cheater, as a handful of women came forward with proof that he was cheating throughout his entire marriage. It all started when In Touch magazine revealed intimate details of his affair with model Michelle McGee. From there, 2 other women came forward sharing their details of having romantic entanglements with him during his marriage. One was an exotic dancer and the other was a photographer. Sandra filed for divorce immediately and Jesse didn't even bother denying the claims. He actually called it a part of life. He told Daily Mail, I quote, "Yeah, I did cheat on my wife. Yeah, I stood up and took accountability for it and apologized. In general, both women and men cheat. It's part of life." Well, it doesn't have to be part of life. But okay. In the number 1 spot is Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. We could never forget this affair, probably because the two of them went on to get married and create a family together, even though it came from infidelity. Brad was married to Jennifer Aniston at the time, but that did not stop him from cozying up with another woman. He met Angelina on the set of Mr. and Miss Smith in 2004, which is where the two of them got close. A little too close. The affair ended up getting exposed in the public eye, and even though Jen and Brad had split, Brad jumped straight into the relationship with Angelina. Well, because he was already having the relationship. People did not agree with it and even criticized Angelina for bragging about it. During an interview in 2008, she talked to the New York Times saying, "Not a lot of people get to see a movie where their parents fell in love." Well, I hope you also told your kids that their dad was married at the time that you guys fell in love during this movie. I'm very passionate about this one because I love Jennifer Aniston. Rachel Green? Oh, we fell in love on this set, isn't that beautiful? No, because dad was married to another woman, actually. Anyways.
Number 10, Will Smith and Margot Robbie. In 2013, Star magazine published a bombshell allegation that Will Smith was caught cheating with his co-star Margot Robbie when they worked together on the movie Focus. The report actually claimed that in photo booth pictures that they found and published on their cover, Will appeared to be shirtless and Margot lifted up her own shirt to reveal her lingerie. The magazine also claimed that after they pulled the curtain back to take the pictures, they were getting very touchy-feely with each other in the dark. The scandal was massive at the time because Will is married to Jada Pinkett Smith, and back then they had yet to admit to having an open relationship. But the rumors soon died down as E! News revealed that the pictures were commissioned by production, and that the entire cast and crew saw them being taken. It also came out that Will and Margot are absolutely just friends, and there was nothing else going on between them. Even Margot was quick to deny everything on Twitter. Quote, "There's absolutely no truth to the ridiculous rumor. It's disappointing that goofing around on set could be taken so out of context." Well, people do tend to jump to conclusions. Number 9, Dominic West and Lily James. The actors were at the height of scandal when they were photographed getting cozy in Rome, all while filming their new series The Pursuit of Love in 2020. The pictures show the stars kissing, sitting at a cafe, standing on the Spanish steps, and riding tandem on a scooter looking very much to be on a date. date. Although Lily was single at the time, Dominic has been married to Catherine Fitzgerald for 10 years, and they have 4 children together. A source told The Sun that when Catherine saw the pictures, she was devastated and tried to get a hold of her husband, but he wasn't answering his phone. She was reportedly shocked by the whole thing because she didn't realize anything was going on. But only a few days later, there was a photo taken out the front of the couple's home with a note saying, "Our marriage is strong and we're very much still together. Thank you." Since the incident, James has kept quiet and cancelled various interviews to promote her latest film, Rebecca, which is probably a good decision considering the fact that both parties have not yet publicly talked about their affair since it occurred. Number 8. Chad Michael Murray and Paris Hilton. In 2003, Chad Michael Murray and Sophia Bush fell in love while filming the TV series One Tree Hill. 2 years later, they were married. However, they separated just 5 months later when rumors swirled that Chad had cheated on his wife with Paris Hilton, his co-star on the film House of Wax. During the time he and Paris both worked on the horror film together, they reportedly had an affair, according to Backstreet Boy Nick Carter, who was dating Paris at the time. But after separating, Chad and Sophia still had to keep working together for another 3 years on One Tree Hill. If that's not awkward, I don't know what is. It wasn't until 2011 that the actor decided to rethink the way in which he was living his whole life. Quote, "When you're young and you're thrown into something that I was definitely not ready for, I'm human and I screw up." But his ex-wife definitely took the whole affair much harder, and it's clear that his actions really affected her in the long term. In 2017, she wrote in Cosmopolitan that the scandal was a massive event in her life and the trauma of it was amplified by how public it became. She has also said that she feels the marriage was a joke and it did nothing but reduce her to a Hollywood statistic. Ouch. Number 7. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Jen and Brad got married in 2000 in a lavish Malibu wedding, and things were perfect for the Hollywood it couple until they suddenly announced their divorce in 2005. What happened exactly? Well, long story short is, Brad met Angelina for the first time on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and the rest is history. Apparently the movie was filled with so much romantic tension, it was impossible for the two stars not to fall for each other. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is probably the sexiest spy movie to ever exist, so it's easy to see how everything went down. But the problem was that Brad was still married to Jen. But he didn't let that stop him, and they allegedly still got together despite his marriage. To add insult to injury, he said about his marriage to Jen, quote, "I was trying to pretend the marriage was something that it wasn't. I'm satisfied with making true choices and finding the woman I love, Angie, and building a family that I love so much." That sounds pretty harsh, but it turned out that Brad and Angelina's relationship wasn't just a fling, and they actually went on to date for many years and had a large family before finally getting married in 2014. The love triangle was one of the biggest celebrity scandals of the early 2000s, and it still dominates the tabloids to this day. Number 6. Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. The actress and writer Carrie Fisher was never one to hold back when she had something to say, and in 2016 she shared a fascinating piece of history in her own memoir called The Princess Diarist. According to Carrie, she had a brief but very intense affair with her Star Wars co-star Harrison Ford while they were filming the movie in 1976. But what's really quite troubling is that People magazine reported that she was just 19 years old when the 3-month affair took place, while Harrison was 36 years old and married to his wife of 15 years, Mary Marquardt. To make matters worse, the couple also shared 2 kids together. In terms of sneaking around, Carrie actually said, quote, "It was Han and Leia during the week and Carrie and Harrison during the weekend." She also explained to The Guardian that the affair between them had eventually come down to unreciprocated love. She said that she'll always feel something for him. The Star Wars actress was so young at the time that they got together, and although she must have known it was wrong, it's hard to say that the blame rests completely on her. What's even sadder is that after Carrie died in 2016, Harrison never fully confessed to the affair, probably more out of shame for cheating on his wife. Number 5. Ewan McGregor and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. The co-stars brought their on-screen romance into the real world after working together on the FX series Fargo. The pair appeared on season 3 of the anthology crime drama, which debuted in April of 2017. Only a month later, the actress announced on social media that she had split from her husband of 7 years, Riley Stearns. Following her separation, Winstead was spotted on a date, hooking up with McGregor in London, and cheating rumors were flying because although she was single, he was very much not. The train-spotting actor was still married to Eve Mavrakis at the time, with whom he shares 4 children. After the Emmy winner was spotted getting cozy with Winstead, fans began to wonder about about the status of his marriage, but it wasn't until January of 2018 that his now ex-wife filed for divorce. But while the two managed to keep their romance relatively private, their relationship raised eyebrows even among their family members. In fact, in August of 2018, McGregor's daughter Clara had some strong feelings on the new relationship at the time. She took to Instagram to comment on a Mary Elizabeth Winstead fan page, quote, "Most beautiful and talented woman on earth? Oh man, y'all are delusional. This girl is a piece of trash." Wow. Number 4. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Although it's been over for decades, Nicole Kidman's marriage to Tom Cruise is still one of Hollywood's most talked about relationships. Cruise met Nicole Kidman on the set of the movie Days of Thunder, and the pair were instantly smitten with one another, and they soon started engaging in a torrid love affair. But at the time of meeting, you guessed it, the Top Gun actor was still married to Mimi Rogers, whom he wed in 1987. As it became clear that the affair was more than just a simple fling, Tom divorced his first wife in February of 1990, and less than 1 year later, he exchanged vows with Nicole in December of 1990. They even adopted 2 children, Isabella Jane and Connor Anthony, and eventually went on to make 2 more movies together as a couple. But as we all know, their marriage was far from perfect, and they ended up splitting a decade later in 2001. Looking back on the divorce, Nicole said, quote, "It took me a very long time to heal. It was a shock to my system. We were in a bubble, just the 2 of us. We became very dependent on one another." Number 3. Billy Crudup and Claire Danes. The massive scandal started in late 2003. Billy and his girlfriend of 8 years, Mary Louise Parker, who at the time was about 7 months pregnant with his son, broke up. The New York Post reported that the actor had moved on with his stage beauty co-star Claire Danes, who was only 24 at the time. In the summer of that year, the former co-stars had been spotted getting cozy all over New York City, and even had a very cute looking courtside date filled with PDA. But Billy wasn't the only cheater in that situation, as Claire also ended up breaking the heart of her longtime boyfriend Ben Lee to be with the actor. Their love affair didn't last long, however, and it's clear that all the heartbreak wasn't even worth it, because they ended up splitting up just 3 years later. Naturally, the ultra-private couple didn't discuss the reason behind their breakup, but the tabloids were happy to do so for them. Several magazines even claimed that Danes had left Billy for Hugh Dancy, but we'll never really know what happened. Years later, Claire said, quote, "I was just in love with him and needed to explore that. I was 24, I didn't quite know what those consequences would be." Number 2. Morena Baccarin and Ben McKenzie. The Homeland actress furiously denied rumors that she had been cheating on her husband at the time, Austin Chick. But when she got pregnant by her Gotham co-star Ben McKenzie, there was very little she could do to cover it up. And just like that, the cheating rumors were confirmed. Although the actress tried to shut down the allegations, according to a TMZ report, the divorce papers filed in 2015 by Austin show that he claimed that he was still sharing a bed with Morena when she conceived Mackenzie's baby. She did get a happy ending though, and eventually gave birth to Mackenzie's daughter Frances in March of 2016, just 2 weeks before her divorce from Austin was finalized, and went on to marry Mackenzie in June the following year. But did she at least feel a little bad for sleeping with her co-star while she was married? Well, not really. In fact, she told People magazine that working with him on Gotham was wonderful. Quote, "Ben's the sweetest. It's very nice to work with your significant other, especially when you're pregnant, because you know you'll get some extra TLC and get taken care of." I mean, yeah, I guess that sounds nice if you can ignore the question of how they met. Number 1. John Malkovich and Michelle Pfeiffer. The legendary actor John Malkovich caused intense scandal both on and off the screen when it came to filming 1998's Dangerous Liaisons with his co-star Michelle Pfeiffer. At the time, the actor had been married to actress Glenn Headley for 6 years, but that completely fell apart in the midst of his affair with Michelle. Interestingly enough, even the film's director, Stephen Frears, said, quote, "Dangerous Liaisons is about betrayal and lies and relationships unraveling. It was one of those times where reality and art intersect. It was overwhelming to John. Even for a man who delights in bad behavior, that was a difficult time." Not to mention the fact that John's older brother, Danny, told Entertainment Weekly in 1993 that when the actor came home with Michelle, that was the happiest that he had ever seen him. But even though John and his ex-wife got divorced in 1988, the affair didn't last long either, and they reportedly actually broke up not long after. But apparently Malkovich took the breakup very hard and reportedly cried for a whole year. The two of them must have really had something special, because he told The Guardian in 2008, quote, "It's hard to believe Michelle Pfeiffer ever said hello to me." I mean, if you can forget about the fact that he cheated on his wife, it's still romantic the way he talks about Michelle. Number 10. Justin Timberlake and Elisha Wainwright. Justin Timberlake and Elisha Wainwright made headlines when they were spotted holding hands during a night out in New Orleans. The two actors were shooting the movie Palmer, which is a drama about an ex-college football star who returns home after being in prison. The co-stars were photographed together getting cozy at a bar in Louisiana, sitting at a table holding hands and talking to one another. The photos showed Justin, who didn't appear to be wearing his wedding ring, holding hands with the actress under a table and drinking together. At one point, Elisha could be seen resting her hand on the singer's knee, and while he was standing up, putting his arm around her waist. The photos caused a huge scandal because he's been married to Jessica Biel since 2012. Their relationship was really being tested, and Justin had to make a public statement the following month, apologizing for his strong lapse in judgment, and claimed that despite the photos, nothing happened between him and his co-star. Number 9. Leanne Rimes and Eddie Cibrian. This affair was not exactly unique. In fact, it's a story so common in Hollywood that it borders on cliche. The actors were co-stars who met on the set of a Lifetime movie called Northern Lights. They immediately hit it off and the flirting began. But the kicker was that they were both already married at the time to other people. But hey, in classic Hollywood fashion, they didn't let that stop them, and not long after meeting, they were photographed having dinner together, and the rumor mill did the rest. After extreme press coverage of the affair, both Leanne and Eddie decided to make it official and separated from their respective spouses to be with each other. They eventually ended up tying the knot in 2011, but the story doesn't entirely end there. A few years later, Eddie was caught cheating on Leanne at Wendy Williams' 50th birthday party, but she claims she's unfazed by the whole thing and doesn't seem to mind if he flirts with other women. You know what they say, sometimes how you get them is how you lose them too. Number 8. Helena Bonham Carter and Kenneth Branagh. The two are believed to have begun their secret relationship on the set of the film Frankenstein in 1994, which Kenneth played the lead role and Helena played Frankenstein's adopted sister, Elizabeth. At the time, he had been married to Emma Thompson for 8 years, who was adored by fans. The two were even dubbed the golden couple by the British press, and seemingly had the perfect marriage, which is why the affair caused a massive scandal that rocked tabloids across the nation. They split in 1995, and years later, Emma has admitted that her tearful scenes in Love Actually were so persuasive because she had had her heart broken very badly by Kenneth. It was a little awkward because both actresses had to work together in the Harry Potter films, with Helena playing Bellatrix and Emma playing Professor Trelawney. But in 2013, she revealed that the two had made their peace years ago, and that the divorce was all blood under the bridge. But Emma even joked that she and her Harry Potter co-star were both slightly mad and a little bit fashion challenged, and she said, quote, "Perhaps that's why Ken loved us both." Number 7. Abby Cornish and Ryan Philippe. The actor first met Reese Witherspoon while starring alongside her in the 1999 movie Cruel Intentions. They actually fell so in love with each other that they ended up getting married that same year. But all good things must come to an end, especially Hollywood romances, and in 2008, Ryan started to get closer to his new co-star, Australian actress Abby Cornish, while they were filming the movie Stop Loss. The two of them seemed to be so comfortable being seen in public together that they were eventually caught having dinner together in a Texas restaurant, despite the fact that there were some curtains around the table. They were also caught together again just outside of Ryan's apartment. The affair was so in your face, it really wasn't funny. But it wasn't until Reese discovered intimate messages back and forth that were being exchanged between the two of them on his phone. Then it was clear that after 7 years of marriage and 2 children, Reese was ready to call it quits with Ryan, and later went on to marry talent agent Jim Toth, whilst Ryan and Abby's love affair eventually lost its spark. Number 6. Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys. The actors played secret KGB agents and love interests on the FX spy drama The Americans. The romance between the two sparked while on set, but there was just one problem. At the time, Kerry was still married to Shane Deary, with whom she had 2 kids. The two leads play like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and so naturally, many believe their steamy scenes were indicative of a real-life romance. At the time though, they both heavily denied it. When talking about their sex scenes, Matthew said, quote, "We've all done a million of them in this crazy life we sign up for." He said that eventually the clinical element of it kicks in, which sort of takes away from that embarrassment. But it's obvious that there was really something going on, as the two of them were shopping for furniture together at Christmas in 2013. Not long after, Kerry parted ways with her now ex-husband. Unlike most cheating scandals though, this one seemed to turn out quite well, as Kerry, Matthew and Shane reportedly go on vacations together and frequently dine out as friends. Not only that, but in 2016, Kerry and Matthew welcomed their first child together and became a blended family. Number 5. Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott. The Beverly Hills 90210 star and her husband, Dean McDermott, have been making headlines since their scandalous start. The two actors met on the set of Lifetime's Mind Over Murder in 2005, only a year after Spelling married her first husband, Charlie Shanahan. Dean was also married at the time for more than a decade to Mary Jo Eustace, with whom he shares a son. Tori and Dean began cheating on their spouses the night they met. In fact, she wrote about the affair in her 2009 memoir, quote, "It was love at first sight. I fell so hard. Then I noticed he had a wedding ring. When someone asked, he pulled out photos of his children, and oh yeah, I had a husband too." Yeah, there's no making that sound better. She went on to say that the couple ended up spending the night together despite the fact that they were both married. And she knew it was meant to be because when she woke up next to Dean the following day, she said she had no regrets. The two married and went on to have 4 children together before yet another cheating scandal rocked their relationship in 2013, this time with Dean and the nanny. Number 4. Kate Hudson and Owen Wilson. The Hollywood stars had a massive cheating scandal while filming the 2006 comedy You, Me and Dupree, most likely because Kate was married to rock musician Chris Robinson for 6 years when she met Owen. The actors had a wild affair that lasted only 6 months, but it was definitely long enough to ruin Kate's relationship with her husband forever. Amid the rumors of infidelity, the Black Crowes singer ended up filing for divorce from Hudson in November 2006, citing irreconcilable differences and seeking joint custody of their then 2-year-old son Ryder. A month after the film opened in July, Kate and Owen were confirmed to be officially dating. But the affair didn't seem to stack up to anything, as the couple's relationship was short-lived, and they broke up less than a year later. As the public started to turn against the actress, she countered the speculation by telling Harper's Bazaar that's not what happened. But looking back at the 2006 press tour, it was pretty obvious that something was happening between them, because it got kind of inappropriate. Owen asked her about wearing a bikini in the film and whether she and her husband have ever had a third wheel experience. Number 3. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Many Hollywood romances have started on screen and bled into the real lives of the actors involved. The most iconic has to be that of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. The two engaged in a scandalous affair after meeting on the set of To Have and Have Not back in 1944. Bacall was only 19 when she first met Bogart, who was already an acclaimed Hollywood star and 25 years older than her. But that wasn't the only issue. At the time, Bogart was married to actress Mayo Methot, but their relationship was reportedly falling apart. Bacall confessed in her 1978 memoir that there was no clap of thunder or lightning bolt moment when she first laid eyes on him in 1943, but the actors became close on the set when she was nervous about the production and turned to her co-star for support. Just 3 weeks into filming, the pair shared their first kiss in her dressing room after a day of filming, and he asked her for her phone number, which she famously scribbled on the back of a matchbook. After that, they began meeting in secret places and using their on-screen names to disguise their identities. Bogart eventually divorced his wife in 1945 and married Bacall just 11 days later. Number 2. Sienna Miller and Daniel Craig. Scandal erupted in 2005 when Sienna Miller's confession of love to Daniel Craig was publicly broadcast to the world, while she was still married to Jude Law. The two were co-stars in the 2004 film Layer Cake with Sienna, and at some point the two got a little bit closer than they did on screen. But how did the news of the affair get out? Well, that's the tricky part. A journalist hacked Daniel's voicemail, retrieving a message that came from Sienna's phone number. Both parties tried to discredit the audio tape at first, but when the hearing took place for the hacking trial, it was proven to be authentic. Sienna tried to play it off and told the court that she always ended phone calls saying "I love you," insisting it wasn't some huge declaration of love. She denied that the message meant she was in a relationship with Daniel, but she did admit to the court that they were briefly involved. Jude reportedly learned of his wife's affair from the newspaper story and called Daniel to confront him, because the two used to be close friends. Talk about messy. And coming in at number 1, Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe. In the 90s, Meg Ryan had a squeaky clean image thanks to her role as a leading lady in many rom-coms like When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle. But her reputation took a huge hit when it emerged that she'd cheated on her then husband, Dennis Quaid, with her co-star Russell Crowe. Meg and Dennis had been married for 9 years and already shared a son together when she met Russell on the set of the 2000 thriller Proof of Life, and the pair had instant chemistry. But the affair reportedly caused awkwardness amongst the cast and crew, as the actress didn't even appear on the press tour because she was so worried that they would be asking her about it. In fact, the film's director, Taylor Hackford, blamed the cheating scandal for the film being a flop at the box office. Meg was publicly shamed, especially after she and Dennis officially announced their separation, because it allegedly put too much strain on their marriage. When she began dating her co-star, it really changed the public's perception of her as the quirky rom-com lead. In fact, she told The Guardian in 2003, quote, "I was all over the tabloids and I walked through the lobby and the place stopped. People stopped talking and stared at me." Goes to show you how sensational the affair was at the time.
Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Maud's son. So imagine waking up one morning and realizing your fiance isn't in bed with you, and when you go to your notifications on your phone, you realize that she is now with Tyga. Well, this is exactly what happened to Maud's son. With Maud speaking out about his relationship woes, it turns out that he was really as blindsided by Avril Lavigne's relationship with Tyga just as much as the media is making it sound like. So if you haven't been following last week's shocking reports that started to hit the internet and media outlets stating that Avril had called off her engagement to Maud's son, now there really wasn't much information as why this happened, but things got even more complicated when you factor in that Avril was spotted out with Kylie Jenner's ex-boyfriend Tyga just before she broke things off with Maud. And now there's a lot of speculation surrounding the idea that Avril cheated on Maud, as she's now been seen kissing Tyga and holding hands with the rapper in public. Who would have thought in 2023 we would see Tyga move on from Kylie Jenner and get with Avril Lavigne, and then see Maud's son cry about how he's so heartbroken. Number 9, Selena Gomez. So back in 2016, Selena Gomez had a pretty savage moment with her on and off ex-boyfriend Justin Bieber. Just after Justin started his new relationship with Sofia Richie, when he posted a photo on Instagram of the two, Justin's fans hit the comment section where they started to get pretty savage. It got to the point where Justin even had to take to his social media account to say, "I'm gonna make my Instagram private if you guys don't stop this hate. It's getting out of hand, and if you guys are really my fans, you wouldn't be so mean to people that I like." The situation then escalated further when his followers noticed that Selena had posted a comment on the picture of Justin and Sophia as well, when she went on to say, "If you can't handle the hate, then stop posting pictures of your girlfriend, lol. It should be special between you two only. Don't be mad at your fans, they love you." Justin then went to clap back by saying, "It's funny to see people that used me for attention and still try to point fingers this way. All love." Selena then came out to expose the sorry singer by implying that he had cheated on her by saying, "Funny how the ones that cheated multiple times are pointing fingers at the ones that were forgiving and supportive. No wonder fans are mad, sad, all love." So Hailey should probably watch out. Number 8, Miley Cyrus. 2023 has so far been a big year for Miley with the release of her newest album, Endless Summer Vacation. I don't think any of us were really ready for her hit single Flowers, which is featured on the album, where she drops some major Easter eggs, all while shading her ex Liam Hemsworth. So it got to the point now that he's actually suing Miley for smearing his name. With fans drawing connections between the lyrics and her relationship with her ex-husband, it is clear that Miley really all wanted us to know the tea. As not only did the Wild Child drop the song on Liam's birthday, but she also dissed the song that Liam dedicated his last dance to at their wedding. But she also wore a suit that Liam wore to a red carpet where he told her to behave, and she also filmed the video in a house where he apparently brought 14 other women to so he could cheat on Miley with. There's also this gold dress that resembles a picture of what Jennifer Lawrence once wore on the red carpet one time, and it's speculated Miley wore this dress to address the rumors that Liam cheated on her with Jennifer. And considering that Jennifer once said in an interview that she had kissed Liam when they weren't on set, the rumors are just true. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 7, Megan Fox. Back in February, Megan Fox had us all asking some major questions when she deleted her Instagram account just after she shared a post on the social media platform that hinted at a possible breakup with MGK. And in the post, she may or may have not hinted that the rapper had cheated on her when she posted a series of photos of herself and a video of an envelope being burned in a fire pit where she paid tribute to Beyonce's 2016 album Lemonade, when she wrote, "You can taste the dishonesty. privacy. She then went on to unfollow everyone and went on to follow Timothy Chalamet, Eminem, and even Harry Styles. Also, just before she deleted her account, one fan started to suggest that Kelly was unfaithful in the couple's relationship, writing, "He probably got with Sophie," to which Megan responded by saying, "Maybe I got with Sophie." When Megan did finally come back to Instagram, she did try to deny that MGK cheated on her, but since both have been unseen and quiet on the issue, and it's even been revealed that they may not be together today. So do we think that MGK really cheated on Megan Fox? And if he did, why would he cheat on her with his guitarist when she's not even that attractive? Like, look at Megan Fox. Number 6, Jennifer Aniston. So this story goes all the way back to the 90s, while Jennifer was still dating Brad Pitt. The two by the 2000s were officially married, and they seemed to be like a dream come true. Sadly enough, soon rumors would start to say that Brad Pitt had cheated on his wife, and later on, it would be revealed that this rumor was actually true, as Brad got involved with Angelina Jolie, while he was still married to Jennifer Aniston. The worst part about this whole controversy is that Jennifer once even had an interaction with Angelina, and they even exchanged pleasantries about the latter working with her now ex-husband. As she told Angelina, "Brad is so excited about working with you. I hope you guys have a really good time." But clearly Angelina took "have a really good time" part a little too literally. Then Jennifer Aniston would come out to confirm that the rumors were true by stating that she was devastated by Brad's actions. But honestly, Brad's probably kicking the air right now on the fact that he even left Jennifer Aniston for Angelina Jolie because she turned out to be an utter nightmare. Number 5, Emma Thompson. In an interview back in November, Emma Thompson would sit down with the New Yorker where she would open up about her painful divorce from her former husband Kenneth. Emma and Kenneth first met when they were co-starring in BBC's Fortunes of War, and then they got married by 1989. And they were even said at this time to be a golden couple of the century by the British press until they eventually split. In an interview, Emma would expose how she came to learn that Kenneth was cheating on her. The actor and filmmaker was ultimately having an affair with Helen Bonham Carter, who played his love interest in the 1994 Mary Shelley's Frankenstein at the time. Kenneth had directed and starred in the movie as Victor Frankenstein, while Carter played his adoptive sister and fiancé. Emma then went on to explain that she was blindsided when it came to light about Kenneth's affair, and she was extremely heartbroken by his actions, as they made her feel half alive at one point in time. Number 4, Jennifer Garner. At one point, Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck had one of the most dreamiest stories of their time, but like all good things, it came to an end. When the couple finally called off their marriage, it was apparently due to several reasons, but the major issue was because Ben was having an affair with the couple's nanny. In 2016, Jennifer even went public with the allegations in a magazine interview where she confirmed that the rumors were true. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Jennifer would say, "Let me just tell you something. We had been separated for months before I ever heard about the nanny. She had nothing to do with our decision to divorce. She was not part of the equation. But she full on had to be, because how do you get blindsided by your husband sleeping with a nanny until after you get divorced? Something just seems fishy about all that." In the end, Jennifer would then open up about how people shouldn't attack her ex-husband for his mistakes. As she said, "People have pain, do regrettable things, they feel shame. Shame equals pain. No one needs to hate him for me. I don't hate him." Number 3, Beyonce. Not only did Beyonce expose her husband for cheating on her in her album Lemonade, but she would also hint at her husband's cheating scandal in her new tracks of her new album Renaissance. When the singer finally released her long-awaited 7th studio album, which featured 16 tracks including the summer anthem Break My Soul, in multiple songs Beyonce would reference her relationship with husband Jay-Z. Now, Beyonce first spoke about her husband's infidelity back in 2016 when she released the song Becky with the Good Hair. But now Beyonce has hinted at who this woman may be with the track of Alien Superstar, where she sings, "I'm one of one, I'm number one, I'm the only one. Don't waste your time trying to compete with me. No one else in this world can think like me. I'm twisted, contradicted, keep him addicted." So who do you think Becky with the good hair is? And let us know in the comments below. Number 2, The Weeknd. Just after Selena Gomez called off things with her ex Justin Bieber, she shortly entered into a relationship with The Weeknd. But just a few months of dating, the couple would call it quits, and The Weeknd would even reveal some pretty dark reasons on why the couple ultimately called things off. But just one day before the news of The Weeknd and Selena's split came to light, Selena was actually spotted having breakfast with her ex-boyfriend at the time, Justin Bieber. And many people then started to believe that Selena's one-on-one time with Justin was the major factor that led to her breakup. And it would be hinted in The Weeknd's song Call Out My Name that Selena did in fact cheat on The Weeknd with Justin. But we already knew this, as it was revealed that when Selena got back with Justin, The Weeknd started dissing Justin and Selena at the same time, and he wouldn't have done that if she didn't cheat. And coming at number 1 today, we have Shania Twain. The fact someone even had the balls to cheat on Shania Twain really has no idea on how bad they actually messed up. But to actually think this rocking country star was even cheated on by her then husband Robert with her best friend, who was also married to a man at the time, is actually truly saddening. As who sleeps with your best friend's husband and even lives to tell the tale? Shania would then tell AARP about how she felt about the whole ordeal when she said, "It's twisted, but so beautifully twisted. Sometimes I get overwhelmed coping with things, but experience also teaches you how to manage. When you get older, you have so much experience at falling and getting up. You're not going to stop falling, but you will get better at getting up and bruising yourself off. I believe that, I've lived that." It turns out that Shania then ended up falling in love with her best friend's ex-husband, and later on they would also get married.